We both know that life is anything but linear. It comes in stages, in waves and cycles. And while it's very important to know how to stay strong and to move forward when we are the lowest, or how to stay ready and to be wise when we are at the highest, what I found out is that great people who can move through these cycles and they are unstoppable, you can't just stop them, is they really pay attention to what happens in between these stages. Because what happens in between is far more important than what do we do when we are at the highest. Because whether you're at the highest or at the lowest, it's going to repeat itself. You're going to be again at the top. You're going again to go through wins and victories, and you're going to say, "Woo, I'm winning again." Or again, you're going to go through very hard and struggling moments. All this is going to repeat itself. But great people, and that also changed my life when I started to pay attention to what happens in between. Because if we start to pay attention at what happens in between, then we can start to form our own set of principles, our own pattern of behavior and thinking. Oh, when that happens, that's what I do. When that happens, that's what I do. And that leads to that. And when I start to be too distracted because I think I'm winning, then I make those kind of mistakes. All right, let me pay attention to it. Because what happens in between decides how we are going to go through what comes next. Even if you don't have a business, you haven't started a business, where you think about starting a business, or you've started it and right now you are at the bottom and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Or maybe you're at the beginning, which is the first stage, I named it, I know what to do. The I know what to do is that first stage when we're about to start something, we're full of energy, we're full of enthusiasm, and like, I know what to do. Who remembers this phase? It's like the first love. It's like, oh, I've got an idea and I know I'm going to succeed. I'm going to do this and that. And we're... Are you at that stage? If you are, congratulations, enjoy it. Bad news, it won't last too long, because next stage will come in, and then the third, and then the fourth, and we're going to go through all those, the other three. But the first one is I know what to do. Now, what to do or how to stay prepared for the next stage, and what is the next stage. But before we get into that, what makes us, what's the beginning of this first stage, and why is it important? You'll see in just a second. So, here are the 4 elements which make us to go into the first stage. I know what to do. When you've got a great idea and when it seems that your confidence it's on the highest, and you just know you're gonna win. All right. The 4 energies which makes us to start and to jump into this stage are our ambition, our ego-centeredness, our intellect, and our emotions. And I'm sure one of these 4 is your superpower. Probably you're very ambitious, and that made you to go into this, to start or to think about this project or to start this business. Or maybe you're just pretty ego-centered, you just think about yourself. It's alright, we all start somewhere, it's alright. Or you're very intellectual about it, and you see so much meaning and sense into this idea, into this project. And later, if you are the second or third or fourth stage, you might already be knowing that sometimes just because it's meaningful to you doesn't mean it's going to be a good business. You can make a business out of it. It might be meaningful to you to be smart, but do the people need this or not? And we struggle. Or the 4th one is the emotional. For example, for myself, I think was a combination of ambition and emotionality. I'm ambitious, I know that, and also very emotional, and things excites me, and we just go into that. Now, if you are in this stage, I want you to remember one thing, because this is going to get to render you equipped for the next stage. Understand that your strongest, or your superpower, your strongest link in the chain is also your weakest one. because we are so focused and in love with this energy and this superpower. But this is just raw energy. It needs to be directed. It's something like, I sometimes often use this example of, we're born with two wheels in our hands. God gives us two wheels, but it's our job to figure out how do they work and figure out a frame and to make a bicycle out of it. So the wheels are there, but we gotta somehow put them together. And if you're just focused on your two wheels and you say like, oh, I've got these gifts and I got this talent and I have this energy, but sometimes we find ourselves running with these two wheels just in our hands, and we're running, sweating, but we just haven't figured out yet how to put these two wheels together. So just remember this before the next lowest comes, because if you're on the first stage, now you're on your highest. Remember, I don't want to be scared, and I don't want to hate it later, because will come the moment sometimes when you start to use this superpower, this energy you've got, and sometimes we start to think that because of this we start to make all the mistakes which we're going to make later. And sometimes when we're going through pressure and we're tested, we start to think, I'm sure it's because of my ambition just blinded me. I hate myself because I'm too ambitious or too ego-centered, or I'm just always this smart ass, always in love with the intellectual aspect, or I'm just too emotional. Oh my God, I'll never succeed. So when the next stage comes, don't panic. Understand that this energy, this superpower you've got, which made you to start and to go into this first stage, needs to be tamed. It just needs to be tamed. And its counterpart, it's what you want to focus so that it can become the second wheel. If you're too ego-centered, start to train also your generosity, your empathy. Train the other muscle. Because this one will just blind you. You just need also its counterpart. If you're very ambitious, start to think about leadership and serving others. Also develop that muscle. Don't let this superpower to control you. 2 Peter 2:19, by what a man is overcome, by that he is enslaved. Because at this very first stage, you're playing with fire because you just got into this superpower, but now you have to start to tame it. And if you don't direct it, it's going to burn you. All right, good. So just stay ready and equipped. When next one comes, the next stage comes, and when struggles are going to come after this first stage, remember these words. Hey, I don't want to start to hate this superpower. I just want to find out what its counterpart power and to start to work on it as well so that you can start to combine them. All right, good. This is the first stage. I know what to do. The second stage. The next stage is I know what else I should do. Why is this so? After you start to use this raw energy and you start to your business, comes the next one when you're not just the first one was the ignition. Now it's the flame. Now you're burning, you're investing your energy. You're investing your energy and you're trying and you're pushing and you're focused on 100 things and you don't sleep and you sacrifice everything. You're 100% into it. But you also start to realize that, oh my gosh, it is so hard. I didn't think it's going to be so hard, but I know what else I should do. So this kicks the awareness. The flame starts to be burning and the awareness kicks in and you say, okay, good. I also need a little bit more of the communication. I also need social media. I also need to understand more business. I also have to understand more the marketing and the sales and the promotion and connection and networking. And you're like, oh, okay. I know what else. Because things don't really work just using the raw energy. And you start to understand like, okay, I got to put some things onto it. This is also what I sometimes call it's the more era. Well, while you're putting all energy into this, if you start to realize that's been already maybe half a year or a year or maybe 2 years where your energy is all over the place and you're really grinding and pushing, probably very soon where you're already on its edge, will come the third stage, which is, I don't know what else should I do. So, I want you to be strong and prepared for the next stage. Because while you're going through this flame, I want you to remember just one thing. Don't burn all of it. Go all in, but don't burn all of it. And I want you to ask the following 3 questions. While you are burning now, while you're you're so busy and full and you're fighting, and it's lots of noise and lots of tasks, ask yourself, what am I doing this for? Because very soon will come the next stage where you'll say, hey, I don't know what else to do. So ask yourself, hey, what is all this for? Because you might start sometimes to realize that you're doing all of this not because you really need them, but because you came from a very raw energy era where you were so sure you know what to do. And now is the era where you start to realize that you can't just go on and on with maintaining this rhythm. It's just crazy. And rightly so. And we need to go through this stage because it forges your character, it makes you stronger, it prepares you for what comes next. Here's where you're building you're so self-understanding. You start to realize your weakest links, your weakest spots. Maybe a little bit of shame kicks in. It's like, oh my God, I've been pushing for the last 3 or 4 years, but no results there. You start doubting stuff, but you're like, no, I'm gonna just go do more. I'm gonna do more. And it's like, imagine the example before, having the 2 wheels. Now we're kind of like jumping onto these 2 wheels and we, come on, start rotating, but they're just not rotating. So make sure that remember, the burnout might be somewhere there. Now, you might be a very strong one. You might say, burnout for me never exists. I agree. For some people, it never exists. But if you don't want to just stay in this era for too long, ask yourself this question. What is this for? The second question, ask yourself, who is this for? Is this for me? Do I want to prove to myself something? Or is this for my customers, for my business? Like, who is this for? And the third question, which probably could be also the first one, but no, better the third one, is how have I come into it? It looks something like this.
You're coming all full of energy, boom, just boosting, moving forward, amazing. And then you just start to realize, like, I have to focus on this. Good. And now you were more focused on the beginning, but later, like, oh my God, there's so many things. And you start to realize that you just can't maintain all these power moving forward. So that's why you gotta ask yourself these 3 questions here. Who is this for? Who is this for? Who's going to benefit if I succeed at all these tasks miraculously tomorrow morning? Who is going to benefit the most out of them? Me? Them? If me, how exactly? What is this for? In other words, what's going to be the impact of doing all of this? What is this for? Because these questions are going to help you to start to realize, oh, right, okay, this probably is not essential. Probably this is not essential. I'm doing this and that. Hey, how many do I need? Because once you start to answer these 3 questions, you're going to say, oh, so this is who I want to serve. Of course, this would be the greatest thing to do right at the beginning. But most of us skip them and we're just moving forward, being so sure I know what to do. What is this for? And the third question, after you ask these 3, how have I come into this? How have I come into this? So that helps you a little bit to think about the next, but also it helps you to go a bit backward and say, hey, I thought right here at the beginning that without this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I can't succeed, but is that true? Because maybe I had a fear or a doubt that pushed me to move forward, but I actually probably don't need this. I don't have to focus so much on social media now. Probably have to figure out more about my business plan, who I don't want to serve. Probably have to niche down a little bit rather than just doing more. But again, if you are just at the beginning of this stage, probably is also the right time to keep pushing, to keep doing. so that you don't start to try to think that you can outsmart yourself. You got to build some character and you got to test things on yourself. But if you want to get out of it, and if you're on the edge of the burnout, ask yourself these 3 questions. And this is going to help you to play a little bit the detective. And these 2 are going to help you to look forward and to start to narrow down all of it. Because otherwise you'll just start to realize that you can do it, but you also want results. You might keep doing them, but you want results. You don't just want to do them more, because that's exactly what you needed at the beginning, to prove to yourself that you can accomplish something. But don't let those feelings like shame or doubt or fear, or it's like, oh my God, I'm looking like a loser, because yes, we do look like losers sometimes, but that's all right. Let those watching, let them watch, don't worry. Think about your mission, think about the purpose, think about the who, the what, the how you've got into it, and keep moving forward. If you need a little bit of help in the link, there's a link in the description below. It's a mission challenge, 5 days, and we can go through all of these to start to understand, hey, why do I do what I do? What needs to be done? What's the problem I solve? Who do I want to serve? Why do I want to serve them? What's the strategy? What's the implementation? So that you can have for yourself a clear path in front of you, rather than being lost in too many tasks or important things, but not at the right time.
All right, now, if you're already moving out of this stage, or you have already moved out of this stage, you are the 3rd stage. And the 3rd stage is, I don't know what else to do. Because you might be going through some desperate times, and it's like, oh my God, probably I will never succeed. Well, if the first time was the ignition, and the second one is the flame, now the 3rd stage is the ashes. Now you start to see the first ashes, because many ideas, dreams, and expectations, and things you were so sure are true, they are just burning. They become flames, and then you start to see like, things are a little bit harder. And now I've been done this and this and this and that. I've tried all these strategies. I don't know. Well, I want to encourage you first. I often use this saying like, remember that pair of wheels that we got and when we were born, and we have to learn how to build a frame around it so that we can start to use it as a bicycle rather than running with 2 wheels in our hands. Well, good news, God gives us a pair of wheels every day. That's great news. Every day you can start to go back to your first love, to your first power, to your first moment, to your first idea. To go a little bit backward, that's okay. Sometimes a step backward is a step forward. Now came the moment for a very serious question. If everything I want to accomplish and everything I've been through, if all of that could have been done and accomplished in the best scenario I was expecting and hoping and dreaming, all that journey, if that journey was to be a mission, what would be the name of this mission? So if you can see yourself in 10, 15, 20 years, accomplishing and building and serving and doing and expanding and helping people and serving the world, if you could see yourself in the future, how would you call the mission which connects that moment with the moment where you are right now? What would be your sentence sound like? Hey, I've spent the last 20 years being on a mission. Do you have the answer? Now, it's time to apply some reverse thinking.
If from the 2nd stage, in order to move forward and not avoid going backward, the questions were, who is this for? What is this for? And how have I come into it? What have I felt before it? Now we really move, we take a leap forward and we say, oh, if I could see myself here, or my business here, right in the future, that is 10, maybe 20 years ahead. Again, a note, things are going to change here very often, and that's all right. figuring out, understanding more, and realizing, because remember, the third stage is the third stage. These are the ashes. These are the ashes, the first ashes. The first ashes. The first ash is to start to burn all the things from the past which were like helped you to start, but it's just gotta let them go. And how do you let them go? It's hard because they're part of you. They're connected to your pain. They're connected to your experience. They're just connected to you. They feel like part of you because you've grown while you're going through that. What would be the mission name of this path? Now you're wiser. You know more clearly about what you want and what you don't really want. Start thinking backward from there. Okay, good. I would like to see that impact in my family, in the world. Good. What would be needed to be done? What would be needed to be done in order to get there? How should I be thinking in order to get there? What kind of character do I need in order to get there? How should I listen more to God in order to get there? How should I let my energy to be more towards creating rather than using and testing and trying to prove to yourself that I got it? And no, you start to get a little bit over yourself. You say, you know what? I've been through that stage of proving to myself. I've been through the stage of trying too many ideas, and that's all right, because that helped you to see clearly what's in front of you. I was working a few days now with a client at our consulting agency, and he realized one thing, that all he has been through, and he started a business, and then it didn't work, then he started another, and then he started to open different locations, but he wasn't sure about the finances and stuff, but he was just making decisions after decisions. But that helped him to figure out one thing, that all he was doing was to prove to some of his parents that he also deserves their respect and approval. And once he freed himself of that, he started to focus more about the people he wants to serve and to serve them at the highest quality. So then he became much more focused and much more creative on, I can create this offer, I can help them in this way and that way. You're not pushed anymore by that feeling and emotional thinking, because you just freed yourself of all of that. But sometimes you just need this process to move forward. That's why imagine yourself as being a man on a mission. And if you could accomplish everything you've been through, what would be the mission? And start to reverse thinking. Again, in the description below, there's a link. If you need some help, just access. It's free. Let's do it.
Now, answering these questions will prepare you, will help you, will render you equipped for the fourth stage. And the fourth stage is the first ride. So the first was the ignition, and then was the flame, then the first ashes. Things and ideas and all those things which were not needed, gone. You've got your confirmation. Now it's time to focus on what works. I know what to focus on because I know things take time, and I want to focus on a few things so that I can direct all this energy, all this power, so that I can start to get more results. Now, the fourth stage is the first ride. Or if the third was, I don't know what else to do, if answering the questions I've shared with you, you'll start to have a clear understanding, more clarity about not I don't know what else to do, but I know a way of doing it. Because when you start to shift, here's the miraculous thing that happens. When you start to focus on your cosmos, on your business, on the future, on the impact, on the people you want to help, and what problems you want to solve for them, you will start to see a more tunnel vision, and you'll start to see like, I know how to do it. Because you also tested so many other things, and you also know what distracts you, what's not really important, what doesn't work, what was just for you to grow, and now you know a way of doing it. Now, when you get to this fourth stage, don't, or maybe avoid doing what we all do. We want to find 100 ways of doing it. As soon as we find a way of doing it, we immediately jump on, I'm going to do also this and that in another service, in another offer, and we start to complicate things before we start to have the confirmation that things really work. Because you don't really want to see things working. You also want to understand what was the force majeure of things starting to work, so that you can reconfirm the victory. So when you find a way of doing it and you get to the fourth stage, make sure you understand it as good as possible. Test a little bit other versions of it, but don't try to many of them, because that sometimes we through our pride, when we find a way of doing things, we now say, oh, I know how to do everything. And when we get into this state, oh, the crash is just after the corner, just around the corner. So my suggestion for you is not how many other things I can do, but are there other ways of doing what I'm doing? Or how can I make it even better? How can I over-deliver? How can I make it a premium product version of what I do? Make sure that you understand this little success and you put it together and you start to deliver a better quality of it before you start to create many other products around it. These are my suggestions for you personally, extracting them from my experience, helping others before you start to go in the abyss of feeling so bad when we go through the lowest, and before we start to make emotional decisions when we are at the top. Use these 4 sets of questions so that you can be equipped for when you are the lowest and ready for when you are the top, so that you can continue fulfilling your mission, serving the world, and making this place better, a better world, the world a better place. And may God help you, bless you, keep working, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.